Hey guys, what's going on? Didn't turn my mic on for a second there, but hope you're having a good Thursday. We're gonna look at some conspiracies on TikTok. Got some interesting stuff on the internet. We're gonna be checking it out today. Let's see what Grace Mitscherlich has to say.
Conspiracy theory that claims that we're already dead, and the evidence comes from science. There are two things that are documented to happen when someone clinically dies. The first is that your entire life will flash before your eyes, and the second is that your brain keeps working 7 minutes after your body is gone.
I don't know how they figured this stuff out. Did somebody have like a near-death experience with somebody like bleeding out in the hospital or something, and this is just like what they reported happened to them? Or is it measured by a doctor or something? That's interesting stuff. It's very morbid and creepy, but interesting stuff.
And we've literally recorded the brain still firing after death, actively creating memories. So for 7 minutes, we're in this like dreamlike state where we're reliving our entire life. And according to this guy you may have heard of, Albert Einstein, time is relative. But what does that actually mean? This is suggesting that 7 minutes in the real world could feel like 100 years in the dream state. Kind of like when you fall asleep, you dream an entire movie, then wake up 5 minutes later. Now here's where it gets weird. Some people believe that we all died in 2012. That's when the Mayan calendar predicted the end of the world. And remember, this is all just for fun, and this is just a conspiracy.
If I'm dead, do I still have to keep going to work? I mean, do like dead people get like welfare or something? I mean, am I in heaven now? Is being 39 and working as a pizza man, being single, is that like my version of heaven? I mean...
Conspiracy theory. This theory suggests that instead of an apocalypse, we collectively slipped into this 7-minute brain echo. And this right here, right now, is our dream. This is us reliving our memories. And little time glitches, little weird things like the Mandela effects, or like deja vu, or feeling like the world is off, those are just cracks in the memory trying to keep itself stitched together. So this theory is saying that that would mean that the world did end and we just haven't accepted it yet. Do you think we're 7 minutes into the afterlife? You can come over here for longer freaky videos.
So like living 7 minutes in heaven or hell or whatever feels like 100 years in the real world or some shit like that. So I don't know. That's interesting. I mean, if you think that we were all dead, you know, you'd think you would know it by now. I mean, all these theories, I hear all these theories about like the states of consciousness and stuff like that. And, you know, how we exist, like the nature of existence. It's deep stuff. It goes into some wild territory. I've heard so many crackpot conspiracy theories about this stuff, but are we dead? Leave me a comment below in the chat. Are you dead? I want to know who's watching these videos. Okay, this is apparently a TV show for pedophiles.
Welcome campers and camp whores to the Daily Camper Week of July 20th.
It's already pretty freaky. You got the wide eyes here, the frizzy hair, the creepy mouth. You know, it's like some European experimental cartoon from the 80s or something. Very creepy, very creepy. We're off to a good start here.
5th, 2010. We have a lot to talk about, so let's get started.
This anonymous web show is one of the most disturbing things that's ever existed on the internet. What I just showed you was a clip from an online program called The Daily Capper. The Daily Capper was a program put on by pedophiles all across the world. And this was the head of a community of people known as cappers. This online community of pedophiles known as cappers would go onto the profiles of underage girls and boys, flatter them with compliments, shower them with praise, then try to get them to flash them so that they could take a screen cap of their nude body. And after that, these pedophiles would then blackmail these children with these images. They would send these photos to friends, family members, schools, and there were all sorts of
This is a really bright and life-affirming story. I'm glad to be hearing about this stuff. This is a great way to start my video. Oh, baby.
Code words in online forums where these cappers, aka disgusting pedophiles, would meet and exchange information. The Daily Capper itself, this program, was a program put on by these pedophiles to talk about news and events that were happening within this pedophile community. It's really disturbing to me that they chose this because I used to watch the show Crashbox as a child, and I think that it's eerie and haunting that they're actually using imagery from a children's show.
This from an actual show? Oh my god, this whole thing is so... Of course, if there's going to be a show about pedophiles, like pedophile news updates, it's going to be the creepiest thing imaginable. Jesus Christ.
This pedophile network. Now, sadly, one of the victims of this capping community was a girl named Amanda Todd. Amanda's story is particularly well known because of the YouTube video she created before she took her own life. But at one
Oh, I
point,
heard about that. Yeah. Yeah, it was posted on Facebook. People were saying all these fucking fucked up things about her. Is that back in 2010 already? Oh my God. Jeez Louise, that's like old millennial lore. I remember that. Remember those like cheesy videos where people would be holding up cards to the camera and like, moving the cards and it would say the next thing and they'd move the next card. And yeah, I remember that. That was this stupid trend from the 2010s. Yeah, I mean, that was like a goofy millennial trend. Everybody on YouTube was doing that for a while. But, oh my God. There's so many. I didn't know that Amanda girl was involved with this shit. That's wild.
during Amanda's stages of cyberbullying, she was featured repeatedly on the Daily Capper, this program. And the intro always started like this: "Welcome cappers and cam whores." And then at the end, the newscaster up here would say, "Happy hunting," encouraging these pedophiles to go target more children. And they would do awards at the end of the year for the best, most prolific pedophiles in their community. These awards that they gave out included Blackmailer of the Year, Capper of the Year, Cam Whore of the Year, Cam Site of the Year, and...
We need to open up the camps again. We need to do something about these people. We need... I can't say too much. I mean, if you're watching, if you know about this stuff, I don't think I need, you know what I'm saying here. We need a way to deal with these people with extreme prejudice. This is some horrific, fucked up shit,
Shocker of the Year, where they were basically giving awards to pedophiles and their victims. There's a lot of information online about this whole show and these pedophiles, but something really disturbing to me is the fact that most of the people involved in the Daily Capper were never brought to justice and they were never caught. That means that all of these pedophiles that were celebrating with each other and glorifying their disgusting acts are still out there, probably on the internet today. And to end this, I'm going to show you one more clip from the show, which I find is particularly disturbing.
Candy Beaches returned this week for the first time in a month. The reason they were gone so long is because they said someone called the police on them. Twice. I think I know what this is all about.
Been reported to the cyber police and the state police.
Looks like he wasn't joking around.
Oh, is that Consequences Will Never Be the Same? Was that girl involved in this shit?
Maybe it was their Good Morning America interview that prompted cyber police.
Oh my God. Jesus Christ. There's so many layers to all this creepy shit on the internet, man. I started using the internet in the mid to late 90s. I was really young on there. Man, I'm so glad I didn't stumble into any of this shit. I'm so glad none of these creeps ever bothered me. I don't know how I avoided doing that. I was an ugly child, though. But I remember using it back before, webcams and YouTube was a thing. All the stuff was, relegated to these forums, totally unregulated forums. God knows the kind of shit you post in there. I remember going to Rotten.com back in, 2003, and the YNC and Steak and Cheese and all that shit. I remember all these goofy, creepy websites with creepy shit on there. But there's so many. Just when you think you've seen the darkest thing on the internet, there's always something that's 5 layers deeper and darker and more fucked up. This is awful stuff. Awful stuff. Okay, this is proof we live in the Matrix.
Proof we live in the Matrix. What do you notice? Look closely.
I'm not seeing anything. Oh, there's nothing. This is proof that y'all need to get off the internet. I'm looking for everything. I'm watching the people walking through the background. I'm watching the people having dinner up at the, closer to the camera. I don't know. I've run into a couple videos like this where it's just nothing, and I think people are just screwing with people. Okay, I think this is. I'm gonna call this Bravo Sierra because there's nothing going on in this video. It's just a shot of somebody eating. I don't know. You see this schizo stuff posted on here. People, I think maybe somebody's like hallucinating or having like a psychotic break or something. There's literally nothing in this video. They got to start like moderating this shit better. I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, this got, oh, my bad, but this, about 3,000 likes here. But I've seen stuff like this get a hell of a lot more likes. I don't know what's going on with this shit, but let's check out the next one here. Okay, rare footage from 1995. Man explains humans' hidden history. He starts off by saying, I was being led into a room.
Led into a room, and Faceas had been watching a television transmission from Chicago. And policemen had just shot a black man that was running away. And then the policeman apparently ran over and tried to save his life. Okay? Faceas turns to me and he says, I don't understand your race. I don't understand why one would try to take his life and then the next minute try to save it. I didn't have an answer. In fact, many times I don't have an answer. Another time, I came on board. I was living in Lake Arrowhead at the time, and Mornay was looking at a group of meters on the ceiling of his ship, and it was all about the ozone and the air, oxygen content in our atmosphere. And he looked very distressed. And I said, what's the matter? And he said, don't they understand that all of this is here because they need it? They don't understand how we can just so carelessly destroy our environment. Now, folks, I want to share something with you. If there was not divine intervention, which apparently there has been, March 23rd of 1994, if there has not been divine intervention, and I will cover that, according to the Andromedans, we would only have 41 years left worth of oxygen in our environment. 3,500 years ago, the oxygen content, they say, was at 35, fluctuated between 35 and 38% between the North and South poles. Today, at its highest level, it's less than 18%. Now, those of you who took biology, what happens to the human form when oxygen as a gas goes below 15%? We die, we suffocate. This is reality, folks. So
this is from 95, and he said 41 years. The Andromedans, these aliens, I guess this guy got abducted or something, or he went on some journey with these alien people. I've heard the term Andromedans before. I've heard that before. I mean, I've heard like guys talking about UFO stuff related to Andromedans before, but 1995, so that was 30 years ago. So 11 years. So we have 11 years of oxygen in our atmosphere left, according to this guy. So that would be 2036. So that would be my 50th birthday. So 11 more years. Oh, baby.
It's reality. This is not Peter Jennings. Okay? This, you know, I mean, we don't have anywhere else to go. You know, and for those, and this is just what I've been told, and for those of you who think there's going to be a rapture, you might be disappointed. And I'm not saying this to question your belief. I'm just telling you that there are much bigger forces going on here. Okay, next slide, please. Save the question, sir, for later. Okay, please. Next slide, please. Okay, this is our solar system. There is life in all of these systems surrounding us. They have been coming here for years. For years they've been coming here. Okay, mythology, there's
I wonder how many of these guys. This guy seems, I mean, he might be a nut job. I don't know. I don't have a name for this guy here, but they're mentioning the Anunnaki in the description. This is Alex Collier. He's a contactee. Highly recommend watching his YouTube videos. Who here watching this in 2005? What happened on March 23rd, 1994? Okay, let's look that up. March 23rd, 1994. Green ramp disaster. Mid-air collision and subsequent ground collision at Pope Air Force Base in North Carolina. It killed Pope Air Force Base. Pope Air Force Base, mid-air collision that killed 24 paratroopers on the ground. I would have been in second grade back then. Wow. I was only 8 years old. Jeez. Is that what he's referencing? I don't know. Interesting. But, yeah, this guy just keeps going on. Let's watch a little bit more of this.
Shred of truth in all of it. The work that Zachariah Sitchin is doing. An absolutely fantastic book is called The Gods of Eden by William Bramley. I would suggest that those of you who have not read it, go get it in paperback version. It'll bring you right up to speed right away. It's wonderful. And he's not a UFO person, which is why I enjoyed it even more. All the truths, just let him right to it. In fact, there's more truth that the aliens are out there than they aren't. They just don't want you to know because they don't want you to know who you are.
It's kind of like that Fermi paradox thing. Like if the universe is so big, then and if there's so many living beings in the universe, why have none of them contacted us yet? You know, it all kind of goes back to that. But you know, it's kind of stuff. I hear this. I'm always skeptical about this kind of stuff. You know, I'm trying to be more open-minded because you see a lot of these people, like, you know, a lot of these accounts they talk about have been fabricated. A lot of people lie about this shit just to sell books. But some of these dudes, I don't know, back in the 90s, it was different. I remember the UFO stuff back in the 90s. That was, I mean, but compared to today, you know, 30 years later, you know, with all the declassified info going on out there, all these UAPs and UFOs, all this stuff going on, all this stuff on the news, all this news footage, you know, especially now with the advent of like digital cameras and the fact everyone's phone has like a extremely powerful camera in it, you're seeing a lot more of this kind of stuff. I mean, this was still kind of crazy. I mean, people in the audience are kind of laughing at them and kind of, you know, they treat it as kind of a joke because back then it kind of was, you know, just kind of this, it was so weird and like not kind of just weird. I guess that's a good way to describe it. I'm trying to find another word to describe weird, but yeah, I mean, this stuff this is definitely a bigger UFO conspiracy culture nowadays than there was back then. Back in the day, I mean, it was just like some guy with like a ham radio and a tinfoil hat, you know, claiming he got abducted or something. Or you see like, you know, books and stuff. I've covered this stuff before in other videos, but you know, this is some wild shit. I never heard of this guy before.
Because the minute we wake up, the game's over. They cannot control us. And if you look at our past history, if you read Zachariah Sitchin's books, we as a race, when we stand together, rebel against the gods, the ETs. We rebel because they have been, pardon my French, shitting on us for thousands and thousands and thousands of years and holding us back. Next slide, please.
You see that same kind of sentiment today. You know, a lot of people are talking about how like politics and celebrity culture and like electronic shit, it's all just this distraction, like social media. It's all just this distraction to keep people divided because humanity should stand united and fight back against these overlords and whatnot. I guess that's what this guy is suggesting. Or he's saying that this is what the aliens think we should do or something like that. But, you know, I mean, trying to put that message forward these days, people just are so cynical about it now. I mean, if there was like actual contact from an alien, I really wonder how humanity would react. Like if a spaceship actually landed and it was documented and, you know, it was like aliens actually like made contact with us. I wonder how modern day humans would react to that. We'd probably just blast them away with AR-15s, but you never know.
If we could just get on focus, thanks. This is what's left of Maldek. You know, the series of planets. The moon is not the only artificial. There are 9 artificial moons in our solar system, and I will share with you later what those are. I just want to cover a lot of information. Okay, next slide. Okay. Okay, this is the typical and traditional picture.
Why isn't it flat?
Okay, maybe it doesn't. Okay, this is the traditional picture that we see of Earth. We got an awesome home, folks. It's one of the nicest ones around. But there's some things about our planet that have been withheld from us. For example, our Earth is, in fact, hollow. It is hollow. The next slide, I'm going to show you a NASA photograph that proves that there's an opening at the North Pole. Okay? You can find this photograph in a book called Our Violent Universe by Nigel Calder.
And by authors Nigel Calder and published by Penguin Books in 1977 with a rating of 3.5 stars. Tell them all the books you need to purchase or rent. See what people are saying. Excellent condition. Well, this book for the picture of Earth from space showing opening the North Pole. Yup, the picture is in this book. Since Our Violent Universe was published before Photoshop, this version in 1970, I'm thinking there may be something to this hollow Earth theory. It's a historical theory not supported by modern science. This suggests that the Earth has a hollow interior with open at the North and South poles. Some proponents, like John Cleves Symes, proposed a northern opening of approximately 1,200 meters in diameter and a southern opening that is somewhat larger. Hollow Earth theory has roots in mythology and folklore, but also saw some popularity as a pseudoscientific concept from the late 17th to mid-19th centuries. Prominent figures who explored or promoted this theory include John Cleves Symes, proposed polar openings and sought funding for a North Pole expedition; Edmund Halley, who suggested a hollow interior with potential for life; literary figures like Edgar Allan Poe and Jules Verne, who used the idea in their works. Symes' hole, as it would appear to Lunarian with a telescope. Okay. Interesting stuff here, interesting stuff. Let's go back to this TikTok.
Released in England, and I don't know how this one slipped through the cracks, but it did. Thank goodness. We are told that the gravity of our planet has to do with the rotation. According to the Andromedans and their science, the radiation...
I'm going to go ahead and bookmark this to look at it later. But yeah, that was interesting. I have to look more deeply into this. Alex Collier. I'll remember that for later. But let's check out something else. Let's check out this next one. Has to do with Space Jam. Even in the 90s, they didn't care and put it right in our faces. Whoa. I mean, there's like 4 pixels in this image, so it'll probably look a little distorted. Well, that's freaky looking. It's like that Kamala picture. The arm's really long. Basketball players are aliens. There is photographic proof of that. Interesting stuff, But I'm going to leave it there. Thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you got any conspiracies you want me to check out, leave them down below in the comments, and I will look at them when I can. But yeah, more videos are coming out. I got to go to work today in a little while, so probably try to put out some more stuff this weekend. If I don't see you, have a happy and safe 4th of July. And consider supporting me. There's my Cash App down below if you want to toss me a couple bucks, or become a member of the channel, and maybe I'll give you some exclusive content or some good shit like that. But that's all I got for you guys for right now. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later.